I'm going to show you how to take integers, combine like terms, positives and negatives, and then put them into a number bond and write 6 different equations. This is one of the easiest ways for students to do this because the answer, once we get the first part, is already there.
Mighty Most Def. It's simple mathematics. Check it out. I'll revolve around science.
What are we talking about here?
Let me show you. We have 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 of which are negative numbers. So we're going to take those negative numbers and we're going to put those together. I know that 8 and 8 is going to give me a total of 16 negatives. 9 more is going to be 25. So that's going to be the beginning of my number bond. And I have 1 positive number, so I'm going to put that in there as well. We're going to learn that between the first 2 bonds, we can either multiply them or add them. And in this case, it's asking us to add. If we go the reverse way, I'm going to show you what that is in just a second, but let's get our answer. If we modeled these with 25 negatives compared to 17 positives, I like to do it with blocks, with red blocks as negatives and green blocks as positive. There's more red blocks. How many more? Well, there's going to be 8. So our total for this is going to be negative 8. Here's our first 2 equations. 17 plus a negative 25 is going to equal negative 8. And the reverse of that. Negative 25 plus 17 is also going to equal negative 8. There's the first 2. Done. Now what happens when we go reverse? We go the opposite way. The opposite of addition is subtraction. And so we're going to start with the total and we're going to move in each direction, and we already know our answer. That's what's great about number bonds. If I start with negative 8 and I move in this direction, I'm going to get an answer of negative 25. Well, what are we doing to get that negative 25? Negative 8 minus 17. That equals negative 25. And what I like to say is I don't like subtraction in my class. I want my students to know that subtraction is the same thing as adding a negative number. So negative 8 plus negative 17, or combined with negative 17, is also negative 25. I tell my students that my favorite word in math is the word or. We have to be able to see equations and expressions and a lot of other things in multiple ways. All right, the last one. If we go the opposite direction, I start with negative 8. I'm going to subtract the negative 25, and it's going to equal 17. Negative 8 take away negative 25 should leave us with 17. And this is where students are going to learn about subtracting a negative. I like to talk about debt relief. And if the government is going to forgive a loan of yours, maybe an education loan, that means that you don't have to pay that loan back. That's a positive for you in real life. And so in math, we look at subtracting a negative on a number line as moving to the right or moving up on a vertical number line, moving to the right on a horizontal number line. We're taking away negatives, which means we're moving in a positive direction. So what we say here is we can also write this, my favorite word, or, negative 8 combined with 25 equals 17. When we compare that 25 with negative 8, if we did it with blocks, there's a lot more positives than there are negatives, which is going to give us our positive 17.
Mighty Most Def. It's simple mathematics. Check it